the depth and the breadth of our relationship with the Americans is something that almost no one really has an appreciation for. Day in and day out, Canadians and Americans work together on health issues, on agricultural issues, on issues about global aid and security, on military. We have over 700 military personnel working in the United States alongside American military personnel, not just at NORAD in Colorado Springs, but throughout the United States. Canadians and Americans are working together to help solve problems like the spread of the Zika virus, planning for pandemic eventualities. We were working together on working to find some solutions to Ebola. There are people that work day in and day out on trying to make regulation between Canada and the United States more seamless, so small and medium-sized businesses can compete more effectively without as much paperwork. It is really quite remarkable. The U.S. ambassador to Canada was telling me that last year there were over 15,000 American public servants who actually came to Canada to meet with their Canadian colleagues, and I'm sure it was an equal amount that went south of the border. We have had a relationship with the Americans on the Great Lakes, the International Joint Commission that has existed for over 100 years. During that whole time, many issues have come up that have been contentious. The decisions have been mostly fact-based and science-based. In over 100 years, there's only been twice where they've actually had to have a vote. It's all been done by consensus. And when you think about Canada, the United States having something like 40% or 30%, something like that, of the world's fresh water in the Great Lakes, we've done a remarkable job of cleaning up the Great Lakes by consensus. It is now on the verge of entering a new era where we can have sustainable economic development in the Great Lakes through plant species and fish species that 25 or 30 years ago was just not possible. So by and large, the relationship is a phenomenal one. It's like no other in the world. I think, when you try to reduce politics down to its simplest form, people really want sort of three things. They say they want the government, they say, what are you going to do to make my life easier? Number one. What are you going to do to make my life safer? Number two. What are you going to do to help me feel more secure about my job? And make me feel optimistic about the prospects for my children and my grandchildren? And on all three fronts, everybody's feeling pretty uneasy. We have $2.4 billion a day worth of commerce between Canada and the United States, almost $900 billion a year. Any disruption to that kind of flow of labor, goods, investment would be very negative for our country. The United States is still quite a remarkable country. They have, apart from Ryerson, they have some of the best universities in the world. They have an incredible number of really smart people. They have, open and flexible labor markets. And you should never count the Americans out. They've been a remarkable population that has been very innovative. It's a great time. Somebody asked me, how do you like being in Washington at the present moment? And I said, for a public policy junkie and a political junkie, being in Washington is like, a little kid being in a candy store. So I'm having a great time, and I hope that if any of you have the occasion to be in Washington, don't hesitate to call. We have, it's a great embassy. It's a fantastic facility. There's over 300 people that work at the embassy in Washington. Some people who really are very knowledgeable about various policies, and it's a great place to be.